All right, I'm going to go and work through the problems on your last quiz. We didn't have time to go over it in class, so I'm going to show work and walk through it here. The first thing that I needed to do is distribute the 3, and then I'm looking to isolate and solve for x, so I'm actually going to take x away from both sides. There's different methods of solving, but I think this is the best at getting at the answer. I'm then going to add 15 to both sides. And I'm going to wind up with 2x is greater than 17. When I divide everything by 2, I find out that x is greater than 8.5. And in terms of the number line, I come over and mark, it's actually 7.5. No, it's 8.5. I was right. I'm going to mark halfway between 8 and 9, open circle, everything to the right is shaded. If your method involved subtracting 3x from both sides first, you wound up with a negative 2x on the right and had to switch your sign. The answer would be the same. Number 2 is the relation of function. We look and see, are there any repeated x values? And I don't see any x values repeated because the definition of the function tells us that every input has exactly one output. Every input has exactly one output. So it doesn't matter if x values are repeated. It only matters if y values are repeated. Focusing on the x's, is there anything there that's repeated and has a different y with it? And in our case, there isn't. The domain of this is going to be listing your x values. Nothing's repeated, no worries, use brackets. The range, there's a 0 happens twice. I never list domain and range values more than once. And then I'm just going to order those numbers. Brackets to close. In number 4, to show your line, which line is steeper, the very first thing you're going to need to do is show the slopes of each. I'm going to take line 1, the slope of line 1, and I'm going to do 2 minus negative 1, which is going to make it 2 plus 1. And negative 6 minus 1. I'm going to get 3 over negative 7. That's a negative slope slanting downwards. When I do the slope of line 2, oh, interesting. This is actually going to be a 0 slope. I don't even care what's in the bottom. Your slope is going to be 0, which makes this then, if your slope is 0, your y values are the same. This is a horizontal line. Regardless of what is going on in the situation, positive or negative slopes, this is going to be steeper. Line 1 has the steeper slope. Write the equation of the line that passes through 2, -1 and 3, 8. First thing, I'm going to use point slope form, but the first thing that I'm going to do is find what the slope is. -1 minus 8 over 2 minus 3. -9 over -1, my slope is positive 9. From here, I would put this in point slope form. I'm going to grab this 0.38 just because it's positive, and I'm going to put it into point slope form. So y minus y1, which I'll use 8, equals 9m times x minus x1, which equals 3. And ideally, you would distribute and solve and put this into a y equals 9x minus 27. If I add 8 to both sides, y equals 9x minus 19. Now, number 6 is related to number 9 in that the lines are parallel. So what I know about 6 is that it has to have a slope of 9. So I actually have a point and a slope. I'm going to use point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then I'm going to distribute and simplify this one. Ideally, we would want to get down and see that y-intercept. Point slope form is reasonably easy to put things into, but it just doesn't give us a lot of information in the end. It doesn't give us a lot of information until we go, that's going to be -4, until we go and simplify it down to slope-intercept form. Now, the chart. What are these useful for? This is slope-intercept form. I'm not going to write out these answers. It would take me too long. Slope-intercept form is useful for graphing. You can easily see the y-intercept and then count rise over run for the slope. Slope-intercept form gives us a lot of information about the graph as well, or about the situation as well. We can figure out the starting point and we know the rate of change. Standard form, I know there was a question about, I don't know what A, B, and C are. Well, A, B, and C are going to be rates or values that we get out of a word problem. And standard form also, besides word problems, lends itself to finding intercepts, plugging in 0 and finding out the y-intercept plugging in 0 for x, finding out y, plugging in 0 for y, and finding out the x-intercepts. Point-slope form. Point-slope form is friendly. When we're given 2 points, it makes it easy to put together an equation. Point-slope form, though, doesn't give us a lot of information. So besides being easy to put into equation, we can distribute like I did in the previous problems. And we could distribute and put it back into that slope-intercept form, which gives us more info. Number 8, the amount of sales tax in Pennsylvania varies directly. Now, since this varies directly, what I'm going to do is grab 1 point, because in a direct variation, all I need is an x and a y. If I look at my first point here at 10 and 0.6, I'm going to use the setup y equals ax, direct variation, put in my y value, 0.60 equals a times 10. If I divide both sides by 10, I get a is 0.06. The direct variation equation would be y equals 0.06x. Write the equation for the line shown in the graph. You've got 2 points on the line, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have the 0.36. We don't see the y-intercept. Otherwise, I would have gone straight to y equals mx plus b. We have 4, 3. Identifying those 2 points, I'm going to start by calculating the slope. Difference in x values over difference in y values. 3 over, that's not right, 3 minus 4. 3 over -1 equals -3. I'm going to use point-slope form actually now. Let me grab that one. Y minus 6 equals -3 times x minus 3. When I simplify this by distributing, -3x plus 9. When I add 6 to both sides, y is equal to -3x plus 15. Last but not least, number 10. Write an equation for a line with a slope of 1 that passes through the point 2, -3. Again, point-slope form. Y plus 3, because it's y minus -3, equals 1 times x minus 2. Y plus 3. This 1, the parentheses, nothing's going to change when I distribute a 1. If I subtract 3 from both sides, y is equal to x minus 5. Good luck on preparing for your test.